Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 280.
It's moving day again because we only had one night here in the Grand Villa at Jambo House. So we woke up this morning bright and early and went out on the balcony to enjoy some animals on the savannah, and there were none. There were no animals anywhere to be seen. It was really disappointing because we got up early for it, but we had to pack up and get out anyway. So we packed up all of our stuff and got ready to go. We called Bell Services to come and get all of our bags, and while we waited for them, we went out on the balcony just to kind of sit and enjoy the peace and quiet out there. And sure enough, we had some animals right as we were getting ready to leave. Giraffes and ostriches started walking through, so we got to sit out there and see them for a few minutes. So it was really great to get to see them as we were about to walk out the door. Once we left, we took an Uber over to Old Key West for our room, and we got all checked in, and thankfully a room was already ready to go for us, and it was at one of the buildings right near the front, which is super convenient. We walked over to our room. It is a deluxe studio, which is one of our favorite studios here on property because it has two actual queen-size beds. Went in, took pictures of the room, and did a room tour for Facebook and YouTube. So we first come in here, we can see that we do have two actual queen size beds. Most studios you're going to have the one queen bed and the pull-out, so already a big difference in the studio here having the actual beds, which is really cool. We've got the beds raised up off the ground, as you can see, so you can store your luggage underneath, which is another bonus in here. These have been recently remodeled. However, they do have carpet where a lot of the new remodeled rooms have switched over to the hard floors, so it's kind of interesting they kept the carpet there. And you can see that entire room tour linked in the description down below and up there in the corner.
Once we were done with that, I went and sat on the balcony. I was going to do a little bit of work, and I saw a cart I didn't recognize. We were able to see the golf course. We had a beautiful view of the golf course. I was like, there's a cart that isn't a normal cart. So I wanted to know what it was, so I quickly got upset. I'm going to go check something out. Ran out of the room, ran around, and there's actually a golf cart that sells hot dogs and water and things like that. This is actually the cheapest place to buy water on Disney property. So there's a pro tip for you. If you see that cart, buy it there, not in the parks. And so I stood there chatting with the cast member for a bit, just talking about what they sell, and she really enjoys her job. So we just had a really nice conversation, and apparently I was out there a decent amount of time because then Robert came and joined me. He's like, did you get lost? I'm like, no, I found the cart. We're just having a really nice talk here. We finished our conversation, and then Robert and I decided to go to Community Hall. We love seeing what they have there. We walked inside, and they had this adorable little pumpkin pillow craft that you can do. And I was like, oh my goodness, I definitely want to do that. So I waited my turn. The cast members were busy, and I said, can I do the craft? And she goes, I'm so sorry, we just gave away the last one. And this is a free craft, by the way, which is probably why it went so quickly because no one had to pay for it. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, do you want to do something else? I'm like, not really. I really liked that craft, but it's okay. I'll wait for another time. She goes, okay, we do have some more coming in. We're just not sure when, and it will be a different craft. I was like, okay, I'll do those. But I think she could tell I was a little disappointed that I couldn't do anything today. And she goes, well, tell you what, we're not going to do anything with this one anyway. So she actually gave me the little sample pumpkin pillow. It was really sweet. I told her she didn't have to. She's like, no, I want you to have it so you have something to take home with you. I was like, well, I appreciate that, and I do still have that pillow to this day.
After we left Community Hall, we hopped on the boat right there at the front of Old Key West and took it over to Disney Springs because we were meeting up with some friends for dinner. They had reservations at Rainforest Cafe at Disney Springs, and we've not eaten at Rainforest Cafe here at Disney ever, and Alyssa's eaten there in Chicago. I ate at Animal Kingdom's Rainforest Cafe when I was a little kid, so we're like, you know what, we'll try this one, we'll check it off the list, and have dinner with some friends. The theming in here is so cool. They have an actual thunderstorm that goes on. Of course, you don't get rained on, but there's lightning and thunder, and everything's decorated. They've got lights, they've got stars, they've got trees growing, they've got animals. It's a really cool experience and definitely fits in here at Disney World. One of my favorite things about it was the bar stools at the bar. They all look like animal legs, and so when someone sits on it, it looks like they don't have human legs, they have animal legs. It was very comical. We didn't take pictures of people sitting in them, we just took pictures of the empty ones, but it was very funny to see.
Once we got seated, we were all very hungry, so we did order the sampler platter to kind of fill us up while we were figuring out what we wanted. We do have a good sized group today, so it's going to take a few minutes for everyone to decide what they want. I opted for the chicken and shrimp, two things I absolutely love, so I was very excited about that. Robert got the steak and ribs meal, which looked amazing.
And they offered me a chance to add some coconut shrimp, which I did. We had a bunch of different plates at the table, so we took pictures of all of everyone else's food, but ultimately I think ours looked the best, and I was glad we ordered what we did. I liked my steak. It was okay. My ribs were definitely the best thing on the plate, though, of the 3 things I had. Alyssa's chicken and shrimp, though, I really wasn't that impressed with.
It didn't have as much flavor as we expected it to, and I know that Disney sets the bar really high, so we have to put that in perspective, but overall, normally this would not be a place we would go, just because there are so many amazing places you can eat at Disney World, even at Disney Springs. And so it was really cool to be there, to be with friends, to have a really nice conversation. We got to see the theming inside, which was really awesome. Those bar stools that we really loved. And we had a really nice time, but we decided this isn't really a place for us.
But that wasn't going to stop us from getting dessert. They had a sparkling volcano, which is basically some brownie cake and ice cream and all this stuff just piled up like a volcano with a sparkler. Well, not a lit sparkler, just a little foil sparkler sitting on top.
Be more exciting the other way, though.
It looked good in pictures. It looked good in person. And we kind of shared that with everyone at the table because we were all pretty full from all of our food. At least we ended things on a sweet note with something really good. I think dessert was definitely the highlight of the meal for both of us. After we were done, we all went out and took a picture before we left and headed out into Disney Springs. We were actually going across to the buses to head back to Old Key West. On the way here, we went on the boat because we're close to the front with our room, but we're not actually going back to our room. I found out today that my grandma and my aunt and uncle and their family are all here and staying at Old Key West. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
It just so happens. So we took the bus back to Old Key West all the way over to the bus stop by their room, and we went over to their 3-bedroom grand villa and hung out with them and caught up. It was so good to see family. We haven't seen them obviously this whole year, and they came down, so that was perfect timing. We had dinner with them there in the room and just enjoyed hanging out and being with family. We spent basically the entire evening there until it got far too late and we had to go back to our room. So we took a walk all the way across property back to our room here at Old Key West, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
For our Year with the Ears.